Aloha Friday and welcome back. So, like I said, it's Friday. If you hear some music, they're playing some music just outside at an apartment across the street. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I did a test run and tried to listen, but you can't really hear the music on the thing with the music outside, so I didn't know. I didn't think it picked it up too much, but we will find out. All right, so today on this one, we are going to go over the View, talking to Charlamagne the God, and then a little bit about just the Hunter Biden pardon. So we're going to look at it from four different perspectives. This first one is a MAGA guy named Brandon Lehman.
Really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend?
A lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, etc. As if
It is. All of the criticism is valid.
Follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. Why can't you say when Democrats are wrong?
It's always hilarious to see The View get called out for being hypocrites to their base, but coming from one of their own just makes it that much better. So here they are asking Charlamagne about the backlash Joe Biden is facing from the Democrat side of the aisle, and he just destroys them. Watch.
Let me ask you something that's going around right now. A lot of this conversation about President Biden getting criticized from both sides of the aisle for pardoning his son Hunter after repeatedly saying he would never do it. And a lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, etc., as if the other side doesn't do it. But what's your reaction to it?
I mean, I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral.
But first, like when you're a little kid, the first thing they tell you is two wrongs don't make a right. Just because they did it don't mean you could do it or should do it, whatnot.
High ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy, and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him. That's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
Boom. Truth bomb dropped. He's 100% right. I think people can at least understand Joe Biden pardoning his son. The bigger problem that people have with it was the blatant lying to the American people, knowing that he was going to pardon his son, and the constant attacking of Trump for being a threat to democracy and our institutions, and then they turn around and do the exact thing that they accused Trump of doing. You can't make your whole platform about being morally superior to the other party and then do the exact same things, if not worse, than what you were criticizing them for doing. That's just common sense. Now, here's where things start to get heated when Whoopi Goldberg responds to him, trying to defend Biden and his absolute lack of principles. Watch.
So, I agree with him here and what he said, but to me, the more even egregious part was Joe Biden in the 90s, his crime bill, talking about we don't have empathy, showing this crack stuff, and a quarter of crack will have you in jail for 5 years, but Hunter, we're going to pardon this man. And then Joe Biden, as it was in 2020, I think, where he said he didn't have empathy for millennials feeling like were having a hard time or whatever. But like if Joe Biden says out loud that he does not have empathy or care about people, why should we care about him or his son? But also he lied. Yes, I agree with that too. And we got a commercial here. Click it out in now.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Stop. Hold up.
Because you
Wait a
don't
minute.
know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
Let me just...
Hold on. Even if you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, it's a lie. If you say you're not going to do something and you do it, it's a lie. And then talking about watching everybody get over. What does that mean? He's been in office since, 40, 50, maybe 60 years, 50 years, 40 at least. He's the one that makes the rules. He's been making the rules and putting people under. He's the one getting over.
Just stop her for a second. In what world is saying one thing and doing the other not considered to be a lie? If these people are unable to acknowledge that Joe Biden lied, we all saw it, we all heard it, but yet they're trying to tell us to our face it was not a lie, how can you take these people seriously or even engage with them in any kind of productive.
And then, like he said earlier, doing the same thing. Like, they want to call out Trump for lying and then say, oh, the MAGA people say Trump doesn't lie, but then Joe Biden's going to lie, then they're going to say Joe Biden's not lying. So that's the same thing. Like, it is hypocritical.
Way. But let's get back into this clip.
So I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Listen,
they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying.
If I could get in on this, I actually think it went further, and this is one thing we really disagree on. Joe Biden made a point of saying we stand by our institutions
Yes, I
and the
understand all that.
impartiality of the
Yes.
Department of Justice.
Yes.
Democrats ran on that. This same DOJ indicted Hunter Biden. How we shouldn't be saying it's corrupt like Donald Trump does. But then in his statement pardoning Hunter Biden, he says that it was a political pursuit by his own Department of Justice.
I don't think people are flipping out with Joe. I think Democrats are flipping out with Joe because Democrats believe that they don't represent what he's currently representing. But that's just not true. That's why I say they stand on this moral high ground that simply does not exist.
Everything Whoopi is saying is defeating her own argument at the same time. You can't run on, we're the good guys, Trump is the bad guy, but then say, well, Joe Biden wanted to be the bad guy because he was tired of everybody else playing dirty. Well, then don't run on the basis of you are the people who have respect for the rule of law, respect for the institutions, upholding democracy and all of our norms, and then you're just going to throw all of that out of the window because you don't like the way that the other team is playing. You can play dirty if you want to. Just don't try and pretend and make your entire platform and your entire personality about being morally righteous and better than the other people. She's literally advocating for Joe Biden to have no principles or any ethics or morals. And like Alyssa beautifully pointed out, they criticized Donald Trump when he said that the Justice Department was being politically weaponized against him. Democrats said, oh no, that's impossible. Oh, he's just a sore loser. Oh, he doesn't respect the rule of law. But then Joe Biden literally says in his statement that the Justice Department was politically weaponized against his son, his own Justice Department.
So, like I've said forever, the parties are the same. They're no different. They're both right-wing parties. The Democrats, to me, they're pretty far right. Like, how is this different? Like Donald Trump, I think he pardoned Jared Kushner, I'm not sure, but he pardoned people, they pardon people, they're all here just to make money and work for the people who give them money. It's no different.
For that matter. You can't have it both ways. It can't be selective prosecution when it applies to you, but when the other person's been screaming that it is selective prosecution, you say he's an unhinged dictator who has no respect for the rule of law. Now, Charlamagne just gets more frustrated, and here he is calling out what Whoopi's saying as ridiculous, and she basically just breaks down and cries and needs a hug from him. Watch.
Utility providers don't want you to know
She's
about
about
this
to
trick
need a
to
hug
warm
out
up
here.
houses for practically zero cost.
Zero cost.
But when it comes to political parties, if you pick a side, right, if you say you're a Democrat, if you say you're a Republican, you refuse to be objective about
That's
anything.
why I'm an independent.
Yes, but that's
And I think that's the best way to go.
But that's not a monolith. We're not, Democrats are not a monolith.
But why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong?
I'll tell you when Democrats
So
are
you
wrong.
don't think Joe
I say
Biden
it
is
on the
wrong?
show.
No, I don't. And can I just point this out to you? The president has a pardon power,
you're
right?
ridiculous.
I didn't say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg.
Yeah,
I would
well,
never. I said that. I just think that's
Think about
Come over
it.
and give
Just
me a
think about
kiss.
it this way. Think about it maybe in this way. The president has the ultimate pardon power. Every president has done this, right?
Yeah.
And so what
Right, every
people are
president
saying
has
is that
done
Joe
this.
Biden is now a liar, as opposed to Joe Biden is someone who now knows that the person that is going to be in the White House is on a
Okay, so this is about halfway through. This is Brandon Lehman. He's obviously a MAGA guy. He has on a MAGA hat. Let's see. That's half of his. You want to go watch it? That was his name at the bottom there. Brandon Lehman. This is a more liberal, maybe a little bit to the left. This guy's name is Reese Waters. And we're going to watch him break down the same exact thing.
Because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. Listen, they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
Hey, shout out to all of our new subscribers and members here on the channel.
Shout out to
my name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Here I am minding my own business, and I start getting lit up with notifications that right-wing Twitter, specifically black conservative Twitter, is on fire thanks to some supposed fireworks that went down between Charlamagne and Whoopi Goldberg, which means probably one thing. It's nothing. Nah, it can't be. Can't be.
After the election, you said that you were disappointed but optimistic. How are you feeling right now?
I feel the same way, because, I mean, what's the other option? So I still believe in this higher power called God.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't believe in God when, you know, things go your way, and not believe in God when things don't go your way.
Okay, I'm going to split the difference with you, Charlamagne. First of all, I appreciate your stance, and that's actually one of the things that I advocated after the election. We don't really have much of a choice, but the reality is that people have been in far darker places than we find ourselves in right now, and yet we had the optimism that we had before the election.
So I don't agree with him there. I had no optimism before the election. He was a big Kamala supporter. He pushed Kamala really hard. So that's why I say he's kind of a liberal. But he has some progressive ideas and whatnot. But anybody pushing the Democrats isn't really a left-wing or really a progressive person.
There's every reason to feel like the pendulum will swing the other way. But if that's going to happen, we have to keep taking steps forward. But as far as what you said about you can't only believe in God when things go your way. Ooh, boy. It sounds good, but see, they found this loophole in MAGA whereby you get to say everything that you don't like that doesn't go your way is the devil. So therefore, everything is God's will.
So that's a little bit like Whoopi Goldberg and them on The View trying to say, well, they did it, so we can do it. So again, two wrongs don't make a right.
And it goes your way, but when it doesn't go your way, then it's the devil triumphing. So that's where there is a whole faction, and a rather large one at that. They just won an election that really only believes in things when they go their way. Yeah, that is MAGA Jesus. Yeah, MAGA Jesus absolutely believes that way.
Please explain that. And how does it make you feel that the campaign used you like that?
Well, it's never good to be taken out of context, but I was explaining to my listeners how effective I thought the actual ad was. Like, what I didn't like the most was that they didn't do anything to combat it. And you know what else I would have did if I was our campaign? Since Donald Trump used me, I would have used Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said Donald Trump was a threat to democracy. Joe Rogan said he thought Donald Trump was, I think, unhinged was the quote.
Right.
You got to mix it up. You got to get dirty with these people.
Ooh, okay. So if I got you clearly, Charlamagne, then because they're playing dirty and they chose to get dirty, that calls for you to
didn't he just say that about the guy?
With these people, right?
So that was my complaint about The View and liberals in general, is that they're whataboutism, right? Oh, well, they do it, so we got to do it. He just said that with the believing in God thing, like, oh, if it doesn't go our way, it's the devil. That's what MAGA does. So now he's gonna what?
Yeah. You gotta fight fire with fire, and fight filth with filth.
And then ads they've been doing ads for a long time, right? And they talk mess, this and that and whatnot. But the whole believing in God thing, that's like way more important than an ad on TV, right? Like, you just both sides belief in God, and now you're all mad that he both sides being mean in ads or putting ads out. That's crazy.
Well, hold that thought. Of course, that would definitely hold when it comes to Hunter Biden's pardon, right?
Why did Amazon send me
So now's a good time to tell you to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.
AI.
Comment in my comment
I'm gonna
sections
show
and I
you a
will
way-
comment back to
I mean,
you.
I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything now, but since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that.
Okay, so the Democrats are acting self-righteous and holier than thou by virtue of claiming to respect our institutions. Is that where I got you? So when the Republicans play dirty, you gotta fight fire with fire. But when they sow discord and kill people's faith and trust in our institutions, then what's the win here? Because you're criticizing them for acting holier than thou, but saying you got to fight fire with fire. I mean, the win is right there. It's right there in front of you, Charlamagne. You just got to pick up that thing. Really, that's like the donkey of the day buzzer. It's right there in front of you, dog.
You don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend?
No, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
And he ain't the only one. He ain't the only one.
But who is she talking about? Who's getting
There's a lot
over?
of people on this side of the aisle that's sick and tired of watching everybody get over. See, the whole point that you just made about Democrats acting holier than thou, you're not the only one who believes that and believes it's time for them to, quote, get dirty with these people. So how, in the context of us agreeing on both those 2 points, do you find it appropriate to fix your lips to criticize the Hunter Biden pardon? I mean, make that make sense.
You get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow.
Okay, well, it's about 6 minutes of that one. It goes on for 25 minutes. That's Reese Waters, liberal, pro-Democrat to leftist. There's really no difference in the Democrats and Republicans. You can hear the first guy, more of a MAGA man. To me, he sounded more just kind of on facts, straight, level-headed. And then Reese Waters is a little bit more emotional. Let his emotions cloud his vision, whatnot. This is the amazing Lucas. He's a former MAGA guy, and as you can see from his hat, he has the upside down American hat. I think normally he wears that, or American flag hat. So he's a former MAGA guy who pushed for Kamala Harris, but he's more independent. And I'm not, he has a different bend, so we'll look at him this time.
Not happy. Oh my goodness. So, I know we're all aware of Hunter Biden giving a full pardon. That's correct, a pardon. And not just any pardon. I'm talking about a pardon that was for 11 years. I don't even have that many fingers, bruh. I have to use a toe. 11 years. An 11-year pardon, bro. What type of goofy nonsense were you doing that you needed a pardon for 11 years, my guy? 11 years? Damn. I know.
He was
I know
filming
what
it,
the
that's
Democrats
why.
are going to be screaming at me. But Lucas, what about Trump? Lucas, what about Jared Kushner and his deal with Saudi Arabia? Listen, I don't care. I genuinely don't care because I'm sick and tired of this, okay? I'm the middleman. That's what it feels like as an American citizen looking at these two idiots going back and forth. I'm the middleman.
But see, that's the problem, is we're not in the middle. They're in the middle. They're way on the right, the Democrats, the Republicans. But you're not in between them. You're probably to the left of them. Most of us are. You want healthcare, housing, food, streets, all that, 40-hour work week, child labor laws, things like that. That's left-wing stuff. If you want to be more corporate and more like Donald Trump and, the fascist style, they go right of them. But, I mean, they are already fascist pretty much, so there is not much to the right of that.
We're seeing Trump, right? Kushner getting millions, all right? He pardoning, Trump pardoning Kushner's father, who was doing tax evasion, witness, intimidation, all that, pardon, and then made him an ambassador. I hear you loud and clear. The nepotism with Ivanka and all this, I get you. But here we had Joe Biden, okay? We had Joe Biden. And what did this man say this entire time? What did he say? I'm not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do it. I believe in the law. I believe in the law. The law. The law.
I'm not gonna do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision.
I don't even know if he knows what he's saying anyway. Look at this man.
I'll not pardon him.
Will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
You're fucking liars. That's what this fool kept telling us. Then I couldn't believe my ears. I hear, what's his name? Roland Martin talking about, if you believe that he wasn't going to do it, then that's on you.
I know there's some people who are saying that, Roland, it doesn't matter.
So you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Well, forget about stocks, crypto, and real estate.
It's just like the Trump people, like I said earlier.
It doesn't matter. It's unfair because Biden kept telling us he was never going to pardon him. Okay, if you actually believe that, you're crazy.
What?
Right?
What? I'm sorry.
So that's the same thing. They're like, oh, well, Trump's allowed to lie. Why is he allowed to lie? So some people obviously let Hunter and Joe lie.
All right. Maybe I need to bring sanity to this political arena, but are you crazy? Huh? Are we going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs now? The fact that this man said on countless occasions he wasn't going to do it, he wasn't going to do it. Hey, listen, you do the crime, you have to pay, do the time. It just is what it is. Now, he wants to flip the script and talk about, well, my son was being targeted, okay, y'all? He was being targeted unjustly, and I can't allow that to happen. So we gonna cover him, pardon, for 2 years. Wait, hold on. What? What were you? For 5 years. For 5 years, we're gonna give him a pardon. Hold. What? What would you? What are you doing?
Right.
For 11 years, if you don't miss me with this nonsense, bruh, if you don't miss me with this nonsense, and lo and behold, I could have sworn Democrats were the party talking about, listen, we got to protect the kids, all right? The Republicans they don't care about the kids, okay? They want these shootings to happen everywhere. That's what they want, okay? We have got to protect the kids and remove the assault weapons. That's what we've got to do. All right, I hear you. Then I come and look at one of this fool's charges. And one of the charges is that he lied on a firearm form. This man was doing lines while he was filling out the form. Now, I don't know that to be the case, but I assume that's what was happening. He was like, am I addicted to any type of drug? No. I'm addicted to happiness. That's what I'm addicted to, and it makes me happy. So that's a no, that's not true. And then they were gonna charge him, well, since you lied on the form, that's a charge, and the 11 days that you had the gun, that's an additional charge. They were gonna treat him like they treat us. Were they not? They were gonna treat him like they treat us.
Right.
Now, you missed me with this nonsense. This man is 1.4 million in tax evasion. 1.4 million in tax evasion.
That's a little
you
bit.
let your little self, as an American citizen, be behind 10,000, 5,000, hell, 2,000. They will drown you with interest alone. With interest alone, they will drown you. They will charge you by the second. Where that 2,000 will become 100,000. And before you know it, you are done. It's game over. You're never beating that. You're never beating that. So I don't want to hear this, but Lucas, I don't want to hear that, bruh. I don't want to hear that. When Americans every day are drowning in debt, whether it's medical, whether it's as far as taxes, every day. And this man got an 11-year blanket. Just, it's okay, you good. What are we talking about? You all want to talk about white privilege, but then when it comes down to it, you're like, well, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of white privilege on myself as well, Like it's pixie dust so you can fly, just, okay. I think it's horrible what I'm doing. but, I'm doing it. This is nonsense. This is foolishness. I wish he would have the same fervor and the same passion and the same righteous indignation that he has for his son, right? For the American people.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Fight for us the same way you fought for him. Give us the same benefits as you gave your son, okay? Miss me with this nonsense. We over here drowning. Either we have to be
right, like I said in my video the other day, yesterday, like, pardon all the people. Let everybody out for nonviolent crimes, at least. Pardon everybody who didn't commit a violent crime, and even small violent crimes. Really, like, just give people a second chance. Hunter's a good dude. He had guns and drugs.
Poor in order to get some assistance, or we have to be rich. That's it. Everyone else in the middle, which is the majority of people, what are we doing? Nothing. We get screwed over. And we have to watch as this fool, this cokehead fiend, gets 11 years, just you good, no matter what crimes you did to the U.S., while we got, as far as family members who are locked up for drug charges or cocaine.
Cocaine, the same thing that Hunter Biden had, right? So he weighed it out. He had over 20 grams on the scale.
Are you missing me? We got fools who can't vote because they had a drug charge. They didn't kill anybody, but because they had priors and they were caught with a certain amount, they were 1 ounce over. 1 ounce over, so now they being charged with distribution. Damn. If you don't miss me with this, bruh, and I'm sorry, I don't want to hear this nonsense. I get it. Trump is bad. I get it when it comes to the January 6th, those fools, and he's looking to pardon them. I get that. But he never once, I don't recall Trump once saying, you know what, the January 6th people, they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done that, and shame on them. I didn't tell them to do that. That was bad. That was really bad, okay? Really bad. And Steve Bannon, really bad man. I didn't tell him to do that. That should not have happened. I didn't hear him say any of that, bro. None of that. This man came out and said what he was gonna do. Them mofos is innocent, okay? They stole the election. All those people are innocent, okay? Kushner, well, you know, he's a good man, all right? He's MAGA, he's a loyal.
Right, that went a little long. He's a little bit funnier, so I guess I kind of stayed on his video a little bit longer. That's the Amazing Lucas. I don't know if it's the Amazing Lucas, just Amazing Lucas. I guess it is the Amazing Lucas. And so, any of these videos, obviously go check these people out. Go finish the videos. And then the last video we're going to check out is, I'm not sure if it's quite as based on the Hunter Biden thing exactly, but it's based on the pardon or something, I think. Liberals big, yeah, to pre-pardon everyone. And so this is a real far-right conservative. He calls himself the Black Conservative Perspective. So he's a race baiter. He has, you know, when you put race in your name, he talks about race as much as he can. So the original guy, the MAGA guy, Brandon Lehman, he was sensical, level-headed, talked, you know, like any a regular person, and he has on a MAGA hat. Lucas is pretty funny. He's a former MAGA guy. You got Reese Waters. He's a liberal. You know, he's pretty funny, but, you know, he had a little bit of brain rot for the Democrats. And so you're going to have the Black Conservative Perspective, and he's got brain rot for Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
The presidential pardon was originally meant to grant the president the power to temper justice with mercy. It was not enshrined in our Constitution so that a dishonorable man could reward his criminal allies, friends, and family for their corrupt practices. I don't have a problem with Biden pardoning his son. He should have pardoned him. The crazies are coming, right? But to me, it's like, pardon more.
Who was contesting, and one of his most trusted advisors, Sean Hannity, suggested his next move should be pardoning himself and his family to stop the so-called witch hunt. I mean, I don't know that he even has the power to do that. What, does no one read?
He's the president, the sitting president, and he can do whatever he wants to until his time is up.
So this just in, President Biden is reportedly considering preemptive pardons before President-elect Trump takes office. Those could include Anthony Fauci, Liz Cheney, and even Adam Schiff. For what? Well, Lucas Tomlinson is live at the White House. Lucas, is this even legal?
Well, it's certainly unprecedented, Dana, and many Republicans and even some Democrats on Capitol Hill think it would set a bad precedent. Now, earlier, Republican Congresswoman Lance Gooden from Texas had this to say about preemptive pardons.
This administration is very cognizant of the fact that their Justice Department has been weaponized, that they have been in on an act of criminality throughout many stages of this presidency.
Now, you mentioned some of the names off the top, Dana. According to Politico, President Biden's top aides are weighing this idea of issuing these preemptive pardons to current and former government officials ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration next month. And that includes former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Senator-elect Adam Schiff, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. Fauci's been accused by Republicans and some watchdog groups of lying to Congress about the origins of COVID and his use of a private email account to do government business. Now, not everyone on that list wants a preemptive pardon. Adam Schiff telling Politico, I would urge the president not to do that. I think it would seem defensive and unnecessary.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Once again, we got to talk about why the Democrat Party and the mainstream liberal media has become a complete and total joke to the American people, okay? Because Democrats have essentially had a mask-off moment. They've had multiple mask-off moments showing that their party, they do not live up to the values that they claim that they stand for. Okay, they're not the party of the law. Okay, they're not the party of integrity, of high character, of being above corruption, right?
And so you can see that's pretty much everybody's perspective, that they're two-faced. They say one thing and do another. They talk about the Republicans as being really, really, really bad, but then they do the things that they say the Republicans are going to do. So
they're not, okay? In fact, the Democrats are the party of bad character. They are the party of corruption. They are the party of hate. They are the party of bigotry. They're everything that they claim that they're not, okay? And they show you every chance they get, if you're actually really paying attention, that that's who they are, okay? And Democrats, once again, are showing us that they're not any better than the people that they criticize, right? The people that they claim are Nazis, are hateful. The guy that they claim is Hitler, okay, is a dictator. They're showing us, once again, they're not better than him, okay? Because Biden is considering preemptive pardons for people like Liz Cheney, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Adam Kinzinger, Adam Schiff, right? He's considering preemptively pardoning people that are on Trump's enemies list, right? Which is.
But see, Cheney was a Republican. She was a big war hawk like her dad. And then Fauci was appointed by Trump, wasn't he? Like, and now they're anti-Trump or whatever. They're just so silly. But the Democrats and Republicans are the same. They're the exact same party.
Something that is completely made up by the liberal media. And they're trying to justify it by saying, well, Kash Patel leading the FBI. That's justification for issuing these preemptive pardons. Now, I want you guys to listen to Democrats and the mainstream liberal media defend this today.
The question is, would they accept a pardon? Because if you don't think you did anything wrong, which they didn't, they might want to not take a pardon. But I will say this, you're talking about an unprecedented crew of people coming in. Listen, even if they don't indict you, they could investigate you into bankruptcy, torture you with FBI investigations. Kash Patel is evidently going to be our next FBI director. Is that what you want to be dealing with for the rest of your life?
President Trump during the time he was out of office?
President Trump got actually indicted by a grand jury.
They tried to bankrupt him. They raided his house.
Grant of clemency. I hope that President Biden will also issue preemptive pardons to all of those people threatened by the injustice of what will become the Department of Justice in the Trump administration. That, of course, includes Jack Smith and all of his staff, many Department of Justice lawyers. It includes President Biden himself, although we don't know that anyone can legally pardon themselves. He will need a pardon because he is going to be harassed and charged for no crimes whatsoever. Donald Trump has promised that.
Let me show you why.
I mean, even if that is true, he's just going to be treated like regular people now. They bust into regular people's houses and charge regular people for nothing.
I shouldn't say easy, but there's a way to do this, I think, that would make the narrative clear-cut for the American people. It's not ideal to have an incoming potential head of the FBI, Kash Patel, who has published enemies lists. But one advantage of that is that he wrote a book, he has an enemies list in it, so we know exactly who he has threatened to go after without cause. Just pardon everyone on it. Pardon everyone on it, give a speech, say, and this is one reason I wish that the president was a better...
I think the fact that they have to have that discussion says everything about Kash Patel and Donald Trump's nominees. There is no reason why any president must consider preemptive pardons because the incoming administration has made it so clear that they will go after political adversaries, and Kash Patel has been incredibly vocal about that. And I hope that the Senate Republicans, who know Joe Biden very well and know he would not take something like this lightly, really consider the fact that that's even part of this discussion about Kash Patel. He is unqualified. He is unhinged. He has made it very clear that he is out for retribution. He is sending cease and desist letters and lawsuits. This is a dangerous...
Unqualified and unhinged. From the people that gave us Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, very unqualified
person to head up our top law enforcement agency, and just the fact that this is even part of the conversation says everything that the Senate Republicans should need to hear.
Like, what are you pardoning Anthony Fauci for? What are you pardoning Liz Cheney for, who've not been charged or convicted of crimes?
That goes to the heart of this deliberation, Willie, and why this is so delicate, because the White House counsel
to the whims,
right.
subject
so
to the
he has
whims
a
of
lot of
somebody
clips on his show. I just kind of wanted to show you more of him.
Yeah.
You see the mainstream liberal media losing their whatnot, but we'll let him have the last word, give the little last talk about what
so
he
you
was
seen
showing.
that, you heard that, right? This is what they're saying today, okay? And before I talk about just how silly the media has become, right, and why these people once again are proving that they have zero credibility, let's just go ahead and play some clips of the things they were saying 4 years ago when there were alleged conversations about Trump issuing preemptive pardons to people that he felt like Democrats may come after. Take a look.
Senator, before you go, I want to ask you, President Trump is reportedly considering issuing a wave of preemptive pardons for family members and allies like Rudy Giuliani, potentially even a self-pardon. Do you think that those pardons are appropriate? Do you think they would be legal?
I don't think they are appropriate at all. This individual, Mr. Trump, has flaunted the law on a continual basis.
So
unlike
you know they're
Joe
just going to
Biden,
say bad Trump,
whatever
good
happens
Joe.
on a
So
going forward basis.
yeah, we're going to get back to
this as
the black
his way of trying
conservative.
to protect those that have protected him.
From his perspective.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, the hypocrisy is stunning, right? This is just another example of Democrats once again showing the world that, hey, rules for thee but not for me. Okay, we boo-hoo, whined and cried about the alleged conversations that were happening in the Trump White House about preemptive pardons. That didn't happen, by the way, right? Trump did not do that for his family members. He didn't do it for himself, okay, even though everybody knew that there would be massive investigations against Trump when he left office. And that's exactly what happened. But yet, these same people are now cheering on Joe Biden doing something that they were against when Trump was in office. And again, these are the same people who always are boohoo, whining, and crying about the fact that they're not taken seriously anymore, right? It's because, once again, they're showing that, yeah, we don't actually really believe the things that we say, okay? We just want to criticize the other party as corrupt, but you're not supposed to be upset with our corruption, even though we're just as corrupt as the people that we routinely criticize, right? And again, this is why the whole, oh, we're better people than Trump, we have better character than Republicans, that's why that argument doesn't hold up, right? This is why people don't believe you when you say that. That's why it doesn't work, because you're not, okay? And what I love the most about the rationale behind defending the indefensible from the left is that they sound like right-wing conspiracy theorists, right?
They're
That's
not left.
what they sound.
They're liberals. Liberals are not left. And that's the one thing that I want this channel to do, is help us all realize the difference in left, right, liberal, because liberals are what's stopping progress. If the left and the right would talk to each other, we could get a lot more done.
Like, because if you listen to these people talk, they're basically saying, yeah, well, Kash Patel becoming the FBI director, well, that justifies the pardons because he will weaponize the justice system against his political opponents, which, by the way, is not what he would do. Kash Patel has outlined the fact that, hey, he believes that, you know, some of these Democrats have committed crimes, okay, and there should be some investigations. right? There should be some accountability, which Democrats,
like
they're calling that a witch hunt.
Too.
Okay, a witch hunt, because a guy wants to actually seek justice, wants to hold Democrats accountable.
Drain the swamp.
But again, what they're
But not
saying
just Democrats, everybody.
is essentially that it is, in fact, possible for the DOJ and the justice system to be weaponized against political opponents, right? After telling us for the last 4 years that no, that's just a right-wing conspiracy. That's not happening, right? In fact, it's not possible. Remember the argument that they made for why is it that the federal indictments against Trump are not a witch hunt? Well, he was indicted by a grand jury, right? A grand jury decided that they would indict him. Therefore, that is proof that the system is not weaponized against Trump.
Okay, I'm going to leave him there. So, that was 4 perspectives on the Joe Biden pardoning of Hunter Biden. We got the black conservative perspective, Reese Waters, the amazing Lucas, and Brandon Lehman. So, if you like this video, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe. Start leaving more comments, guys. Tell me what you like about the videos, what you don't like. Tell me what you want to learn about or anything. So on a video like this, should I let it play all the way through on each video and just have a longer video? Or should I keep it a little bit shorter? Like, I'm trying not to make it too long, although I know this has probably gotten a little bit long. But other than that, I got a few more video ideas for today. I'll be coming back at you soon.